Alright, so welcome. This is my first lecture or first set of notes, whatever you want to call this, for this independent studies math test prep class that we're doing. So we're going to talk about rational operations, and you will have a better, hopefully a better understanding to perform mathematical operations with rational numbers when you're done, preferably without a calculator, but that's up to you. Now, as you take these notes, it's up to you how you take them. You create your own system, that type of thing. Don't necessarily need to write the objective. We could say, hey, I want you to write it like this, but we'll see. Okay, so let's look at this, and what are we going to do? First thing I want to be able to do is I want to add. And you can see the example there, but I'm not letting you see all of that, so nice try. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, let's look at adding. So we've got something like this. We got two fractions, 1/4 plus 9/4. And you can hear there's a bell, so occasionally you will hear bells because I'm at school when I'm making these notes. Just kind of go with that. And I will try to keep these as short as possible. If I do go too fast, please pause, please stop, please rewind if you want to. These are controllable videos, so go with that. Anyways, we've got 1/4 plus 9/4. Now, when we have the same denominator, that's the number on the bottom, we can just add the numerators and keep the denominator. So 1 plus 9 is 10 over 4. Now, that needs to be simplified. They used to call it reduced. I don't care. Just simplified. Now, both numbers are divisible by 2 because they're even, so I know I can divide by 2 and I get 5/2. Sometimes I may have to do that again and see if I can get a bigger or even smaller number, but in this case, that didn't have to be the case. I didn't have to worry about that. I just had to divide it by 2 by once. Now, the thing is, you've got to remember you have to have a common denominator to be able to add. You don't change the denominator when you add or subtract, you just add the numerators or subtract the numerators, but you have to have a common denominator. So what do you do when you don't have a common denominator? Well, in previous before you were told, look for a least common multiple. Okay, here's the simplest thing to do. Think cross multiply, but not quite fully. Okay, and what I would do there is this. If I cross multiply, okay, then 11 times 3 will give me a 33. That's going to go on top. And notice I still have it first. 8 times 2 gives me a 16. And I'm adding, so I'm putting the plus in between. On the bottom, I know both fractions are going to have that same denominator of whatever 11 times 2 is. So in this case, I'm saying multiply 11 times 2 and you get 22. So to me, the easiest thing, now, maybe you do have to simplify after this, but this is quick and easy. And that's something you need when you're taking like an SAT or ACT. You need quick and easy. Okay, so 33 plus 16 is 49. Put that over 22. And then see if you can simplify that. I have no idea why that mark is there, so just go with that. I really can't simplify because both 2 and 11 were prime numbers, so there's nothing else I could do. We're done. How about subtraction? Is that any different? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. No, it's not. The only difference in subtraction is you got the minus in between, but you still need a common denominator. And like I said, if I do 9 times 6, I get 54. That's my common, that's the easiest one to find. Now I know 9 and 6 is also, will both go into 18, and I could have worked with that. I could have worked with 18 or 36, but this is actually a little bit easier because I just did a straight multiply. And then 7 times 6 is 42. 9 times 1 is 9. Notice that they went first, second, okay? And then 42 minus 9 is 33. Now, hopefully you would recognize that since both 9 and 6 are divisible by 3, then this fraction could maybe be checked by being divided by 3, which it is, and I would get 11 over. Why did I put 18? I have no clue. Hold a second there. I need to erase that. It was 27. Goodness, Mr. Patch, what is wrong with you? Okay, so it's 11 over 27, which cannot be reduced because 11 is a prime number. So that is my simplified answer, 11 over 27. Oh my goodness, this next problem, it has a mixed number. What are we to do? Hold a second here. What are we to do? 11. So here, I would go, let's change the mixed number to an improper fraction. What does that mean? It means get rid of the big number. So how do I do that? I say 4 times 2 is 8. and then I would add that to the numerator. So 8 plus 1 is 9 over 4 minus 3 over 8. Now again, I need the same denominator. This one you can kind of quickly see. So if you can quickly see it, you don't need to worry about multiplying them. And I could say, well, they're both going to be over 8. As long as I say 9 times 2, which is 18, and then I can subtract. And I would take either answer, 15 over 8 or 1 and 7/8. I'm only putting that as a mixed number because the first and the original problem, it was a mixed number. Now again, if you do have any questions on these, or if I am going too fast, again, stop, make note of your questions, and then ask. Ask in class, okay? Now, multiplication. How easy is multiplication, you may ask? Well, I think it's actually very easy. But let's see. Multiplication, all I need to do is multiply across. I multiply the numerators to the numerators and the denominators to denominators. So here, keep in mind, the denominator will change, or you don't have to worry about a common denominator because you're going to work with it. So multiply across and simplify. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. 7 times 3 is what? It's 21. 4 times 11 is 44. And guess what? That's your answer, because you can't go any further. So you just multiply that out. You just multiply straight across. And again, what helps is that, say, one of those numbers was prime, one of the denominators, so I couldn't really simplify that too much. 2 and 2/5 times 3/5. What the heck do we do here? Well, you see that little arrow? It's kind of giving you a hint. You need to make a transformation first. Before you try to multiply the mixed number, change it to an improper fraction. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12 over 5 times 3/5, and you still multiply across, which would give you 36 over 25. 12 times 3 is 36. 5 times 5 is 25. And again, you're done. So that's multiplication. Yes, I'm kind of probably going through this a little fast, but it should hopefully be a review. Lastly, division. What do we do with division? Well, you multiply by the reciprocal. So actually, division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. And what does the reciprocal mean? It means you're going to flip a number, flip a fraction. So for example, 3/4 divided by 1/2 really means 3/4 times 2 over 1. Notice I flipped, which gives me an answer of 6 over 4 that can be simplified to 3/2. What about 1/3 over 4/5? Notice here how I wrote that. Okay, I wrote that 1/3 over 4/5. That still means divide. And keep in mind, fractions are division. So I'm saying 1/3, or 1 divided by 3, divided by 4/5. So let's write that out like that. Then I could say, well, that means 1/3 times 5 over 4. Multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 4 is 12. So my answer is 5/12. So your assignment for, say, the next day is going to be dealing with these types of operations. This is a very basic thing. It should get you going. And if you do have questions, feel free to ask. The main thing here, guys, is you got to ask. So I wanted to try to make sure I could keep this one under 10 minutes. This is your first one, so there you go. I'm at 8 minutes and some seconds, so under 9 minutes. Yay, happy joy. Thank you very much, and I will see y'all when I see y'all.